Dear school leader, teacher, and all education change makers watching Kawa Resources, you are most welcome to this topic on ICT and you. Historical background to ICT in schools. When the first computers made their entry into schools in the late 1980s, we used to speak about computers in education. With computers came printers, floppy disk drives, scanners, and the first digital cameras. We began to use the term IT, or information technology, to describe computers and these various peripheral devices. Then in the 1990s, the Internet arrived together with computer networks, the World Wide Web, email and search engines. A new term entered the language, ICT. The term ICT, short for Information and Communication Technologies, embraces the many technologies that enable us to receive information and exchange information with others. Technologies for capturing, interpreting, storing, and transmitting the information. ICTs may include, but are not limited to things like satellites, modems, satellite images, computer games, networks, Wi-Fi, e-book, desktops, internet, e-book readers, computers, notebooks, MP3 players, laptops, hard drives, email, mobile phones, netbooks. Others are tablets, instant messaging, printers, scanners, voice over Internet protocol, radios, TVs, video conferencing, data projectors, memory cards, camcorders, digital cameras, flash drives, DVDs, GPS, and interactive whiteboards among others. ICT encompasses all the technologies by means of which we can detect these signals, interpret them, and exchange information with others. The term ICT is plural, referring to a great many technologies. To sum up, ICT is an all-encompassing term that includes the full gamut of electronic tools by means of which we gather, record and store information, and by means of which we exchange and distribute information to others. New models of e-learning have appeared, and new Web 2.0 tools are influencing pedagogy in classrooms around the world. New Web 2.0 tools were influencing pedagogy in classrooms around the world. Educators explore the use of ICT in instruction. ICT have had an enormous impact on society. A third revolution is how UNESCO describes their impact in a 200-plus page report, Towards Knowledge Societies, UNESCO, 2005b. Certainly, it is difficult to imagine how any modern society could continue to function without ICT. In that sense, ICT ushered in a revolution. There can be no going back to the old ways. Schools, colleges and universities are an integral part of any society. You would expect, therefore, that in the same way that ICT are indispensable to the functioning of modern societies, these same technologies are equally indispensable to learning institutions. Although the primary focus in this topic is on the use of ICT in learning and teaching, ICT have impacted on every aspect of the operation of schools, colleges and universities, including management and administration. With ICT in education, we get newer kinds of software, as programs on computers are called, being developed day after, such as simulations, problem-solving packages and adventure games. Software to be used in classrooms today includes the same kinds of tools that adults use in the world of work: messaging, emailing, word processing, database programs, and spreadsheet applications. Where the Internet is available, teachers and students routinely employ search engines to look for information to complete assignments. Employers not only in Uganda but in the rest of the world now demand that graduating students are equipped with these same ICT skills needed in the workforce. The impact of ICT on schools, teaching and learning. In quite a short period of time, ICT have had a marked effect on schools, on teaching and on learning. At the instructional level, too, the primary focus in this guide, the use of ICT in classrooms, lecture theaters and teaching labs across the East African region is bringing about change in the way teachers teach and how students learn. An important and forward-looking book from UNESCO, Teacher Development in an E-Learning Age, Resta and Patru, 2010, describes how teachers' roles are changing as a result of implementing ICT in their classrooms. The use of ICT in instruction brings about changes in teacher roles. A shift from knowledge transmitter, primary source of information, to learning facilitator, collaborator, coach, knowledge navigator, and co-learner. From teacher controlling and directing all aspects of learning to teacher giving students more options and responsibilities for their own learning. The changing role of teachers is aptly summed up in the quip that teachers have moved from being sages on the stage to becoming guides on the side. The teacher is no longer the all-knowing authority. The new role can perhaps be likened to that of a team coach or the conductor of an orchestra who tries to bring out the best performance in all players. Virtual excursions. Students in classrooms where ICT are regularly found are likely to participate in virtual excursions and be active researchers, searching the web for information to complete individual or group projects, communicating via email, blogs and social networking with students and teachers in other schools, and reaching conclusions on the basis of evidence gathered. The Internet. The Internet and such services as Google and email, together with numerous new byproducts like Wikipedia, Skype, Zoom, Google Classroom, Facebook and Twitter are transforming further the way we live, learn, work and play. In suggesting the emergence of a possible fourth revolution, Kim described how in some countries learning is moving beyond the walls of the classroom, and that new terms have been coined to express these innovative ways of learning, terms like M-learning or mobile learning and U-learning or ubiquitous learning.